Can I show champ masteries? I think so. Wait, I have Fizz on level 5, but no twist. Oh yeah, because of banditry as well. I'm very proud of this one, by the way. Screw this deck. Anyone who plays Star Spring is inherently a bad person. No discussion.
Is it the mustache? Who knows?
What's up YouTube, I'm back from the Christmas holidays and I'll be focusing on some more interesting and creative decks these next couple of days. And one deck that I stumbled upon is this spicy new take on Zilean Ekko Predict. People have been trying to make this deck work for a long time, but it's never been quite good enough to see some serious play. But this version by Scathus looks very promising, especially in the current meta. It seems to be popular in the lore community right now. I saw Sorry write a full article about it, and as I said, props to the deck building to Scathus. The idea here is that we have a very different take on finishers in this deck. Voice of the Risen, a card that didn't see a lot of play yet, is a very effective way to snowball the board leads that you often get in the early game. And she is going to be very consistent at buffing your whole board to finish your opponent, because it's incredibly easy to level Ekko in this deck. We run a million predicts, and it's also very easy to draw Ekko in this deck because we run a million predicts. For the exact same reason we run Absolvers, still not sure if it's 2 or 3 copies. 3 copies felt fine so far though. Especially if you pair this with Voice of the Risen, this should be another pretty reliable way to close out games. If that's not enough, we can of course always find Chronobreaks from the leveled Ekko as well. And the last very unfair thing to do with this deck is the Hexite Crystal that's fairly easy to find with this deck at some point. The last win condition that also deserves mentioning is just outvaluing people with Zilean. Of course, we mainly play him for time bombs, and time bombs are great in the current meta with all of the Cannon Ari and Spider Aggro and stuff like that running around. But again, since we run a million predicts, we can find these time bombs very consistently, and Zilean is not that easy to remove, so sometimes we will level him. He will either force a removal out of our opponent or make sure that we can consistently go over the top and outvalue other decks. But let's get to the core idea and game plan of this deck first. In most matchups, we'll want to mulligan pretty aggressively for either Fallen Feline or Zilean, just because the payoff of having them early and finding crystals or time bombs is really high. Apart from that, you will notice right away we play almost only cheap cards. Nothing's more expensive than 4 mana, which means we have a lot of cheap units. And it's easy for us to have a lot of small units on the board. Ancient Preparation helps. Dropboarders, of course, get found in predictions very consistently. Aspiring Chronomancer as well as Zilean are both cheap and sturdy. And all of that ensures that Voice of the Risen will usually have a lot of targets, a lot of units to buff besides her. Station Archivist is a great flexible card here. You can either play her on curve and try to find something like a Feral Prescience just for a free predict, a free Ekko level up trigger. But in the late game, she's also a great way to pull, or rather copy, Chronobreaks from Ekko, or to copy the Hexite Crystal after your deck already got shuffled through prediction. So after swarming the board early on, we'll usually look for Ekko and Voice of the Risen very aggressively. Once Ekko is leveled, especially then, we'll look for Voice of the Risen Absolver. And most of the time, we're also happy to find time bombs as well as the crystal. And I think all the other cards in this deck are pretty self-explanatory. We play a lot of predict spells, Feral Prescience, Scrying Sands, as well as Time Trick to level Ekko in a cheap manner and to find those cards with really high payoffs. Another interesting tech choice here is Ruinous Path. That helps a lot with all of the aggro decks that are currently running around in the meta. So overall, a super duper fun and a super duper effective deck. A lot of high-class Legends of Runeterra players were also playing this deck recently. We talked a lot about it in Twitch chat. Everyone kind of has a bit of their own version, trying out some different tech choices, so keep an open mind there, and feel free to also try out some other cards. Maybe stuff like Call Shot, maybe something like Quicksand for a Pantheon. But either way, I felt like the deck is pretty well positioned in the current meta, and I could climb with it pretty consistently. And just before I show you some gameplay, I just want to warn you, I have finally watched Arcane in the holiday break, and I am talking about Arcane a lot in this video. So if you want to stay spoiler free, maybe don't watch it yet. But if you don't mind listening to some discussions about the characters and the series as a whole, enjoy the rest of this video. Alright, let's see. 1 into 2. We keep Chronomancer in this case. Probably rather look for a Zilean. Although 1 into 2 into 3 is also quite fine. Especially in this matchup. They don't really have 3 attack blockers. Interesting hand. Let's find that crystal. We can take the block here. Another Feline for next turn looks good.
I don't want to meet whatever woke you up. See what I've learned?
Yeah, kinda have to play the cat first because I also want to predict this turn after shuffling the crystal. Although the blocks don't look that good. Okay. Hey. Probably skip. Kinda want Ekko.
We can always rely on you to keep us safe.
Might be TF. Still think I like developing first. To be fair, Ekko probably had no closure on Milo, Clag, or Benzo Vander dying. Via disappeared and Powder became a Dutch. Yeah, okay. To be fair, Ekko didn't have it easy, yeah. That's actually true. We don't know how much Ekko knew about what went down at that factory thing. Wait, how many cards do you have in hand? 9. Pass is not that good. It's okay, but...
You leave me no recourse.
What did I just predict? I skipped, right? Might as well play Ancient Prep. Do you remember your creation of Riven Vi? Yes I do. I removed Vi and included Rumble. It's good. Riven Rumble. Yeah, the spell shield is actually pretty decent for those types of strategies. Okay, I kind of need to set up lethal for next round, right? Let's find Ekko here. Big place. Jace is probably the least interesting main character in Arcane. Ooh, that's actually... That feels like a hot take to me. Jace felt weird. He had a very different personality to his lore. That I could totally get behind. Like, he's way different than what I would have imagined him to be from playing League. Okay, I need to open with a crystal next turn, so my opponent hopefully can't buff these to 3 HP. Open attacks nonsense, right? Yeah. How's the stream going? Just started. Going well so far, though. We're having some arcane discussions. Jace was faced with moral dilemmas throughout the show that added a lot of depth to him. Yeah, exactly. Jace was kind of this... I mean, he had a very good purpose for the show. I mean, Jace and Victor both kind of tried to connect both cities, right? Piltover and the other city, but both came from very different backgrounds. And that's what made it so interesting. Like, even if you don't like Jace on his own a lot, like, the connection to Victor added so much to the show, I think.
Never lost a fair game or played one.
Okay, so we can redirect the gold card, but then we lose the overwhelm on the attack. Do we have lethal this round? So we can push 4 through the overwhelm. Not quite, right? We can get pretty close and our opponent has to block with both units. It's good enough. We'll let this go through.
See what I've learned?
I never surrender.
Easy.
It's probably good to keep this alive. We want to keep a wide board, right? But then again, we'll have... Now we can let one unit die. For board space reasons next turn, potentially. We draw another unit or find like a drop border. I don't think I predicted yet this turn. No. So much for that. Oh, actually a mistake to know. Oh, that was actually... I would have gotten one more of these if I would have done it pre-combat. I forgot that I can get burst speed attackers with oppressions. Portable fish. Guess we just play the guy, hope to find another crystal.
Deal me in.
Okay, that makes it easier.
Who says I don't share?
Patience is key sometimes. Will I slay units next round? Absolutely, right? I mean, both of these are kind of lethal. Can my opponent find any healing? That's the better question. But I feel like Ruinous... Well, this also draws. I'll have mana to play both. I don't know, both just look very winning.
We can, Timekeeper. Let me show you.
Looks like trouble.
Yeah, sure.
Again?
Damaging this might matter if my opponent wants to block this later on and time bomb, but I mean, most likely our opponent just can't stop time bomb anyway. Like, they'll have to block here, which gives us the slay. We set him to 1 and then time bomb should seal the deal.
You're bluffing.
How was my holiday? Pretty nice. Pretty relaxing as well, but it was about time to get back home and get back on the grind as well.
Little help? Ekko!
Wait!
Oh, he can find Trixie Tentacles actually. No plans for New Year. I'll have New Year here with some friends. Right now, due to COVID restrictions and so on, it's only up to 10 people allowed, so it's just gonna be a small group of us hanging out, but I'm very much looking forward to it tomorrow. GG's. Spuder Aggro, okay. Okay, we're looking for the lowest of curves here. Dropboarder is probably trolling though. Okay. I think it's the cat on 1 and prep on 2. So I'll still get the clock link from my opponent's turn 4 attack. Just got back after a long time and I have enough to craft 1 deck. What do you guys recommend? Don't care about tiers. I feel like this is impossible to answer. If you don't care about tiers, the only thing that matters is your own personal preference, right? This is scuffed. What do I even look for here? Mystic Shot and Crystal, right? So probably skip into Archivist to have a Fearsome blocker. I guess Ancient Prep this turn, maybe. Oh, that was pretty good. Now that we have the crystal, our like expected outcome of this game went from almost guaranteed losing to almost guaranteed winning. That case, there's not really a point in playing Archivist. Elise, I suppose. We'll be fine. Interesting. I think I like Time Bomb more. Allows us to be more conservative with the crystal.
Always the same.
Could swing with these two. It's okay. Like knowing that I draw a Time Bomb. If the 3-2 blocks, we get a good Time Bomb setup. Still losable. My opponent might go for burn only.
It's more exciting than an unsolved mystery.
Crystal into open attack is 7, 9. Yeah. Definitely not enough. Let's see if our opponent has another onlooker first. Sparklefly is dead. I'm very happy Sparklefly is dead because that card was not fun to face when it was alive.
It doesn't add up.
Like this technically plays more around Mark of the Isles in case our opponent plays a random copy of that card. I want to try to push more damage, but there's not much I can predict. Well, I guess Dropboarder is Fallen Feline. In this case, Time Bomb. Ruinous Pass is actually interesting as well.
Man, I'm good.
As long as my opponent has Fervor mana up, I don't want to tap below Hexite Crystal. What happened to Sparklefly? It used to be a 2 mana 1/2. No, it's a 3 mana 1/2.
If they don't break, they'll burn.
Okay, so there's a pretty high likelihood my opponent has a Fervor or Fearsome units. I don't like Crystaling here.
The few for the many.
Definitely leveling Zilean here. So this is a good way of closing out the game next turn. Also Fearsome blocker.
We must tell our stories, lest they be forgotten.
I'll do better this time.
Interesting. If the demo swings, my opponent doesn't have a safe Fervor target anymore again. I just clicked End Romp because I have very good odds of finding another Time Bomb. Still leveling Zilean this turn. Or I can just find Ekko. Mystic Shot's nice. I probably want to predict the draw here. Well, that's hot poo-poo. Am I gonna do a video on this deck? Probably. I'm really enjoying it. Very unfortunate here. Okay. Very kind of our opponent. We technically could have still lost to some insane like double decimate Doombeast type of hand. I love how people are already way beyond sick of the Shell Folk dominance. Teemo Ziggs. Okay. Ooh, Feline. These are all okay, but I want to find a 2-drop, ideally Zilean. Favorite Prescience, while it does tutor us, semi-tutor us a draw, it makes us go down in cards in hand.
Where's my axe?
Solid.
I don't want to meet whatever woke you up.
Wow, the Dropboarder pull was so good.
Do better this time.
So clutch.
Real good to see you. It's not safe.
Triple 1-drop opening and we nullified their board. We actually have a board advantage. Stacko. I think I want Archivist on the board over Zilean. This thing needs to die. I mean, I suppose it's unlikely my opponent open attacks. So I could see it go both ways. It's a good card back. It's actually very, like, it really pops out. Very vibrant colors, especially after Arcane.
Wouldn't you know it, I'll take the wrong mushrooms.
Solver block. Some regular old good player finds. I think Prescience is good here. We can force an Ekko level up. Skip might be better.
I'm sorry to say, time isn't really an illusion. The way is always the same.
I mean, the Yordle isn't really scary right now. He literally only represents one more poison dart if he stays alive. I think this kind of makes sense. In that case, I probably should have picked the Feral Prescience after all, because then I'm going for the Ekko level up. I just didn't think it through in time. Since I can ask you anything, can you tell me what's the meaning of life? That is up for you to decide. At least I can't tell you what the meaning of your life is. Okay, we already have Scrying. Yeah, Archivist should be a very good defensive pick here. Am I simping for Victor? Kinda, yeah. Like, Victor would probably be the arcane character I can maybe most identify with.
Coming in hot!
If it ain't my
I feel like Ekko deserves 3/3 as compensation for his regen having 2 predicts and is being stuck running decks with Shurima. My thoughts on the card, I don't think 3/3 would help. Most of all, of course, Ekko just needs more predicts in PNZ. The issue with making him a 3/3 is that then he becomes a 4/4 quick attack and he can't swing into a lot of 5 HP blockers. Like, for example, an undamaged Lecturing Yordle. I don't even think I like Scrying Sands here. We just mill the time trick.
Nothing like the great outdoors.
Great! Huh, my foot. Things ain't like they used
Devil D, I'll leave that question unanswered. I let your fantasy decide. My thoughts on the card. I wonder if Ekko could be a 4/3 though, quite honestly. Like, even in his leveled form, he's not too hard to remove.
we had something on that case.
Okay, how do we do this? What do you think of Jace's politics? He talks a lot of smack about making inventions to help poor people of Zaun, but accomplishes very little. Yeah, I agree with you, but I do feel like they've touched up nicely on the thematic in the series. Wait, let me think about the blocks first, then I get to you. Where do I put Scrying Sands? What do I trade?
A missing piece? You never learn.
Okay.
Pretty sure we can take 2 damage here. I'm not 100% sure about the Mystic Shot. I think it's worth shutting down the Puff Caps. The upside here is that we're setting up the Time Bomb quite neatly with these 2 blocks and this block. Oh, this Time Bomb is going to be lovely. Ancient Prep means we'll have another blocker for our opponent's next attack. I mean, this game already looks kind of over. Should definitely be able to... Oh, our opponent's playing for the board instead of for burn. That's quite peculiar. Okay. Maybe I'll bait my opponent into playing another one. It's a unit, not a 1 HP unit, but we're fine. Stack off. Everything's in crystal range now, though. G to the G. Oh, that's a nice grind. Like, behavior-wise, I would go with Vi, I think. Vi is a straight-up baller. Lissandra Taliyah. Do I want Ancient Preps in the opener? Probably want to look for a cat. This should be a very rough matchup. We need to swarm. Maybe it is Ancient Prep for Dropboarders. What? Get the 2/2 on a defensive turn though. Let's keep it and see what happens. I could already go for Voice of the Risen. I think it's a bit too early to make that play though. Probably looking for a curve as of right now. This matchup is Omega favorite. I don't know. I feel like we're too slow. And their Ravines can really mess us up. Okay, we'll definitely need Ekko sooner or later. We'll need Ekko plus Voices or plus Absolver.
This is my time.
I think they're just dead on 6. Yeah, we need a level champion and one of those 2 pieces. Thralls is kind of good. Yeah, Thralls are amazing overall.
Ages pass, yet I remain.
So if I go Ancient Prep Scrying Sands, I can level the dude for my next attack, get a predict. Archivist into Ekko's more board presence. But then I threaten to lose Ekko to an Avalanche. I think I like Ancient Prep more. Ruinous Path. Skip. It's probably skip. We need Voice of the Risen or Absolver.
Never had luck, never needed it. Easy to say with that Z drive of yours.
Arcane Jinx is very dark and depressing. Felt like a Harley Quinn ripoff. Wait, give me a second here. I mean, that type of character backstory has been used over and over, right? The damaged child that resorts to violence.
I got all the time in the world.
So it's not necessarily something new, but I still think they did a good job in conveying it in an arcane.
You cannot fight the code.
Ice Shard kind of screws me. Okay, no Ice Shard is big. Ravine next turn is also devastating though.
You know, deja vu isn't what it used to be.
Okay, got an Absolver. Ooh! Okay, I'm actually hoping my opponent has another Avalanche up their sleeves. I just pass, right? I guess I can play Archivist. If they play Ravine, I rally... It's not lethal though. If they play Ravine, I play Dropboarder. I can't play Absolver anyway. Might as well play Archivist.
The same calling card from our other case.
Okay, so rallying this turn is no good. Well, I could rally into open attack actually. Or next turn open attack. Yeah, it has to be rally into open attack. Absolutely has to be.
One more time. And topside. Man, I'm good. Shatter.
Kind of funny, this guy seems dead on turn 6, almost as if someone predicted it. I should have confided in you, Twitch chat. I should have trusted more. Interesting matchup. I feel like it should be fine for us.
Surprise, surprise. Man, I'm good.
Ooh, I'm considering keeping Zilean until after my opponent shuffled a bunch of traps. To shuffle in cards with no traps attached. But that would definitely scuff my development curve. I think I like Chronomancer into open attack. And then Feline Zilean.
I don't want to meet whatever woke you up.
Thoughts about running Call Shot in this? I haven't tested it. It sounds too slow, if I'm being quite honest.
See what I've learned?
I could develop first. It gets punished quite hard by Caitlyn development.
Have a mushroom. Have 3. The crystal!
Usually keep 1 or 2 cards in mulligans, but I see you mulligan everything very often. Any reason for that? It really depends on the deck and the matchup.
If we can undo what has been done,
We can, Timekeeper.
Basically, whenever we play a deck that is very cheap, that has a lot of low-cost cards and a lot of early units, we can look very aggressively for the units we like the most. Especially in a deck where cards like Fallen Feline have a much, much higher payoff than a card like Ancient Prep on turn 1. Or like a Chronomancer on turn 2. So we can look very aggressively for Feline and Zilean since they're so important to our strategy.
They grow up so fast.
Actually, bombs draw us cards. I'm not even sure if time bombs are that good.
Where was I?
Block with Zilean makes sense. Could also threaten the Zilean level up. With the hand I have, I might have to do it, to be honest. Means we get a dart to the face, but that should be fine. Weird hand.
Some will ascend, all will become legends. Hot on the trail.
Turn it like so.
We're getting wild.
I'm not finished.
Manners?
Would a mushroom help?
I mean, Crystal has to be better than Double Absolver, right? But I play the Crystal on my opponent's next attack. Like, I don't really care about giving them one poison dart if they open attack. What I do care is about, like, not getting hit by a Teemo. My favorite character in Arcane. God damn it. Do I still respect the Teemo? I think I should. Ooh, now I can bait my opponent. Okay, and I kinda need to keep Zilean alive. Favorite character in Arcane. So I liked Vander and Vi. I also really liked Victor, and I really liked Singed from the scientist side, and I actually really sympathized with Silco, just because he's so well spoken and says so much super deep stuff. Second Crystal into Double Absolver. Whoa, let's go!
Planting your mushroom patch.
I mean, our draw was pretty insane here, but this is... I think this is lethal, right? Crystal into Double Absolver is exactly 11 damage. Wait, no, it's 8. It's 8. But we also top deck the time bomb, so it's still exact lethal.
Never really gone.
We need our opponent to not have Pokestick plus Mystic Shot or Pokestick plus some Fumes. No! No! I went all in on this! Uh-oh. We might be in for a tough one. Would it have been better to Double Absolver this?
Me, miss? Not by a long shot.
Maybe. Okay, results bias. Isn't too much of... Do I want to bop it this turn? Ah, sure. Oh, it's rough.
Top side.
Turn 8 and Ekko isn't leveled? What the hell is going on? I did think a couple of times about triple Absolver maybe being overkill though.
Business and pleasure share.
Oh, let's go. Only 2. That's such a low roll.
No backup needed.
That's such an insane low roll for our opponent. I think I sack Ekko here, right? Because he still draws even if he dies.
Easy to say with that Z drive of yours.
God damn it!
Here's my
Getting picked apart.
two over. One step ahead.
How much can I take here?
These are my streets.
Do I win if I block this off? Can still win.
Real good to see you.
Easy crystal finds, let's go. Should be 1 left in the deck, right? If I'm not mistaken. That's a really good top deck. Time Trick maybe? Swing enables Ruinous Path. And wait. Ruinous Path is 50-50. Like, no, it's very high odds of being the top card in our deck, actually. I don't know how to do the maths there, but if 4 out of the 5 cards are spells and this is the top spell, let's go! We should most likely go Ruinous Path into Ruinous Path here. Just don't give me a unit. Please, game. Let's go. I mean, it's 80% to be Ruinous Path, right? There's 1 unit that it can only be at 5 positions. At 4 positions are irrelevant for us. Only if it's at position 1, we get screwed over. Uh-oh. I think we win this now. But drawing 5 cards kind of hurts. Archivist bug? Why would it be bugged? The leftmost card is the one that I draw next. GG's.